has consistently felt 1 to 2 threats light, so having more flying flash evasive threats is everything I want to be doing in it, so I have high hopes. It also has an effect that's relevant, like stifling a fetch land or stopping an Oblivion Stone seems reasonable. Thank you for the bits, MWL. You did miss Griselbrand. So this is one of the decks that I'm considering playing at the Open in Indianapolis at the end of the month. Probably going to play it today and then probably play at least one more league in the next week to get a feel so I can send messages to get cards from people to borrow. Need to figure out what I'm playing a little bit in advance. The problem with Grixis Fairies is that the mana base becomes very painful, and Grixis doesn't have a good way to gain health, which, when you don't have a good way to gain health and your mana base is painful, you then can't leverage Bitter Blossom effectively. This hand might be a little bit of an ambitious keep with the opt, but we'll see. D. Brian with the 13-month resubscription. Thank you very much and welcome back. I do appreciate that. Thank you for the continued support. Collective Brutality is not a consistent source of health gain. Like, Modern's a very aggressive format, chat. Like, Collective Brutality is generally enough to, like, offset the damage you're taking from your lands. Then you couple that with the fact that you're going to be taking more damage from your Bitter Blossoms, and you just don't have enough health gain to not just die to a lot of the aggressive things that exist in the format. That is Modern staple Burst Lightning. Obstructionist can counter the actual fetch land activation. It cannot, however, and once you've said you can search your deck, you can't stop that. But fetches are triggers that go on the stack that you can stop with Obstructionist. I think by and large, Bitter Blossom is very slow in Modern. I agree with that assessment. 3 shots at a second land tier. Maybe I was supposed to mulligan this. I don't know. Our spells are pretty good. But I guess most of your hands the spells look pretty good when they don't have lands in them. Once upon a time, Bitter Blossom was banned in Modern. I'm gonna keep that because it technically lets us see an extra card. Never didn't have it. Black Plevkus could be Mardu Pyro, could be Living End, could be Jund, Living End. All right. This matchup's generally pretty okay for us. We've got my friend Spellstutter Sprite here. Actually, Nimble Obstructionist counters their thing too, right? Can stifle the Cascade trigger, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and flash Snapcaster Mage into play here because I would like to just put a clock into play to start beating them down. Because once they get to 3 mana and have a bunch of creatures in their discard pile, I'm gonna just have to keep holding up interaction every single turn. Yeah, anybody can win with anything in Modern, especially if they're a good Magic player. That's why it's a very popular format. We did rip some good ones there. You are not wrong, chat. Fulminator Mage, yep. I'm at work, so I can't watch consistently, but I'm replacing the Pox list with something more bearable. Have a fun stream. Sounds good, LOQ. Feel free to just drop me a message. So I kind of want to just play the Nimble Obstructionist here, right? Is that absurd? I need to kill them. I think playing the Nimble Obstructionist is correct. Like, I know there's a lot of incentive to, like, just like hold stuff up for forever. But I feel like we can get into a lot of trouble doing that. Yeah, if we can just like, with these burn spells and the Spellstutter Sprite, I feel like I want to just pressure them out of this game. We need to dead them. I agree. Killing my Mutavault. Yep. Sit down for a little bit. Been standing for a while. Correct, yeah. Yeah, we don't want them to get to the point where they just start casting a bunch of stuff, so I just want to kill them ASAP, I think. In for Remand. Discord's having server issues today, Brian. So it's not you, it's them. So I'm gonna go ahead and remand this living end because I'd really like to draw another land so that way I can Spellstutter Sprite their second living end next turn. God, we're good at this game. God, I hope this deck is good. I love this deck. I love this deck so much. It plays such elegant games of Magic the Gathering. Just games of Magic that I truly love playing. Just crappy underpowered. Well, you're not underpowered. The rest of you, though. Underpowered flash creatures are my favorite. Underpowered flash creatures are my favorite. My favorite thing in Magic the Gathering. Trigger. This is a thinking person's burn deck. This is a burn. Yeah, it's a wizard too. So basically, after we played this deck on stream, what was it, Sunday night? I pulled up the Gatherer. And I was like, all right, what's every crappy flash creature that's been printed in the last 3 years? Just like, what are cards I haven't thought about before? Bird Wizard, ladies and gentlemen. They usually play 3 copies of Living End. Sounds good, Snowski. So Negate is great here. I don't have a lot of cards to bring in here because this matchup's pretty reasonable for us. Stroke doesn't really accomplish anything. Vapor Snag's actually pretty good here, I think, because it sends their crappers back to their hand when they get to the, like, manually cast them portion of the game. I think I'm just going to go ahead and trim the Burst Lightnings and just, like, run this back. They can definitely get under us when they're on the play if they have, like, a Street Wraith powered hand, but I definitely think we're ahead. Yeah, Vapor Snagging your own creatures is also great. There's a deck list on your screen. If you're on mobile, you can type !deck in chat to get a link to the deck list. That's Alpine Moon. Alpine Moon. Three moons for beating up Valakut and Tron. Hey, Zagana, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I do appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. As good as Delver on 1 is against combo decks, this is a pretty easy mulligan. Not only are we missing lands, but we're also missing counter spells. Vendilion Clique is not particularly good here. This hand at least has counter spells. I'm going to keep this up. Josh, or Josh, thank you. Thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate it. Welcome. I've never mulliganed. I think in this matchup, it's not good enough, Holy Diva. The lightning bolts don't really have a text box, so I think against an unknown opponent, I'd probably keep that hand, but I think against Living End, it's pretty terrible. What's going on, Afara? Good evening. Yeah, humans are creatures of habit. I always, like, get to halfway into my Gatherer search, and I'm like, I should have used Scryfall. What are we Spirit Guiding into play? Yep, just Stone Rain me. This is definitely how we lose this game. They just like have land violent outburst here. There's nothing we can do. They played Fulminator by pitching Simian Spirit Guide. There's a Baron Balanced Monkey sitting over here. Looking for lands and 2-mana creatures. Thank you. Yep. If they keep missing on lands here, and we get to stick this Vendilion Clique next turn, that's absurd for us. If they play a third land and pass, we're going to be in a ton of trouble. But if they cycle anything to start, we're going to be in a pretty good spot, because we're going to get to, we're going to get to stick Vendilion Clique here without really having fear of them going off with Living End. So I'm pretty confident here that they're going to have multiple things that cascade in their hand, and I really don't want them to draw a card. So I'm actually going to go ahead and click this Lightning Bolt out of my hand, looking for more counter spells here. I think I'd much rather find more counter spells for me rather than like work them towards land, because if I can't take all of their cascade spells, I don't think I want to take any. And like I have a lot of counter spells to draw to. We get our creature lands in play here to increase our clock a little bit. Fetch land is good for us here because it means we're going to take a little bit of extra damage. So I'm going to get to bolt them down to 11. I'm going to get to attack them down to 6. Bolt them down to 10, attack them down to 5. So I really need another counterspell here. Brindlebore. Okay. I mean, we are basically a burn deck, so that makes sense. I think Izzet Staticaster is much better than Grimlavamancer in matches like both Affinity and Mardu Pyromancer. And this deck is pretty bad against Lingering Souls, so I'd rather hedge Lingering Souls rather than anything else. So they're going to 9 here. I get to negate their thing, and then they're dead to Lightning Bolt or Wizard Lightning here. The fact that we clicked ourselves is looking really poor now that we've just drawn nothing but lands since then, but I think it was the correct play. Pretty confident that clicking myself was the correct play. I clicked away a lightning bolt because I just like wanted to find a second piece of counter magic or a Snapcaster Mage. I just like assumed we draw a spell at some point. Because like they'd be... No, they wouldn't be dead to a bolt, right? No. We did draw lands that can attack, that's true. Our lands that attack are great. So I get to negate this, but again, I'm assuming that they're going to have another way to get living end onto the stack next turn. And like if I would have drawn another... If I would have drawn another 2-mana counterspell, I would have been able to attack with Mutavault here. You can't click lands. Please read Vendilion Clique. I didn't click a land out of my hand because that's not a legal play. I should have shipped with Mutavault instead of Faerie Conclave there. It was the same amount of damage and it lets me represent a second piece of counter magic here because now they just go for it. Maybe we're really lucky and they don't have another one, but they very likely do. Next time you should think about making the illegal play, right? I mean, they just have to have nothing here, right? Like, they 10 out of 10 would have Violent Outbursted on their turn. Beast Within. Alright, so dead still. Alright. Yep. We drew pretty bad. They drew worse. I think this matchup's pretty good for us, regardless. I could have, but why? Why? While we're waiting for the next match to pop, I'd just like to thank everyone for hanging out here today. Welcome. My name is Jeff Hoagland. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are the wonderful people that keep me employed here full time. If you're one of the many people in the world who has Amazon Prime, if you link your Amazon account to your Twitch account, they get you Twitch Prime included with that for free. And Twitch Prime gives you a free channel subscription every single month to a channel of your choice here on Twitch. You can support my content or any of the other wonderful people's content here. It's free money for someone else that you might enjoy watching, so you should make sure you do that if you have Amazon Prime. You can also support my stuff by checking out some of my wonderful sponsors. Cardsphere.com will love to help you turn some of your cards into other cards or cash direct with other players. There's no haggling. They just take a 1% fee off the top. Hey, Def Nester, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience. Using code Jeff12, you can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags with them. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. And of course, this stream wouldn't be possible without viewers like Anaronix, Justin Nivik, and all of y'all out there. Thanks for hanging out. Remember, if you are enjoying the stream, to hit that follow button. If you couldn't catch all of today's stream, we're going for about 6.5 hours. Be sure to catch the replays later on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland. 100% of my streams get archived there, and I break them up by deck, so you can watch just the matches that you care about. I love these styles of decks. Blue-red counterburn with my favorite way to play Magic. In your honest opinion, how good do you think this deck is? I'm looking for something for the upcoming PPTQ season. I mean, Holy Diva and Shamgar have also been playing the deck, and they've been having reasonable results with it. To set the bar low, I think this is a deck that I can 3-2 with consistently. So it's like most of the other decks in Modern. You've been on hold for 3 hours? There's no way. Did they offer you a callback? I don't know what that card does. No, I don't want a sorcery speed card in my flash deck. How many subs do I have at the moment? I currently have 1,631 unique subscribers, which total to a 1,918 sub points once you factor in all of the tier 3 and tier 2 subs. This is definitely a feel smart deck. Boy, if you like feeling smart while you play Magic, this is certainly the deck for you. If you're a fan of feeling smart while you play Magic the Gathering, this is definitely a modern deck for you. I am planning to do something awesome when we hit 2,000 sub points. We're gonna give away some stuff. I've got playmats of my own to give away, and I was actually just talking to Inked Gaming the other day, and they were asking me if I wanted to do some giveaway stuff with them, so I'm probably gonna have that happen. Delver never flips. Sorry I doubted you, Delver. I'm sorry I doubted you. Yes, high tier subs get real benefits. We have very, very user-focused content on this channel. So, I think I'm gonna pass. Yeah, I'm gonna pass here. You think I want to bolt the Ravager? I guess that's pretty good. They just move the counters over, though, right? They're just gonna, like, let it die and move the counter over? I kind of want to hold up Sprite, but another part of me likes having instants and sorceries in my graveyard. You have the largest sub to average viewer count than any other Magic player on Twitch. You're not wrong, Nicholas. You're not wrong. I definitely think that's true. I am getting close-ish to Caleb's sub count, and I have a much lower average viewer than he does. Do we think it's worth burning the Burst Lightning here? Yeah, I can wait and see what... I think I just wait and see what they cast. I think, like, if they play, like, Signal Pest, I want to Spellstutter Sprite it. And, like, they know about the Vapor Snag from flipping the Delver, so, like, they're not going to do something stupid with it. This deck's like a solid 5 or a 6. This deck's like a solid 5 or a 6, I think. Yeah, we definitely have tools to interact with the board down the line. That is definitely the truth. When I played this deck forever ago, I played this deck a ton. For context, for people that are newer to my content, I played this deck a ton circa 2013, 2014. Do I want to Sprite that? No, I think I'm just going to let this happen. Just going to let this happen. It's appealing to not Sprite this because I really would like to... I'd really like to be able to Sprite like a Cranial Plating or something next turn off this Mutavault. And this is fine, right? Like, this is just a 1/3, so my Delver keeps attacking into it, so I don't really care. Excuse me, sorry. Still getting over a bit of a cold here. So let's crack them for 3. We've got good Disruption. We've got a good clock, so we played a Delver and we flipped it right away. Just, I don't think Merfolk's a very good deck. I think this deck's probably comparable to Merfolk. We have a Galvanic Blast here. I think I'm okay fighting over that. I feel like I have the tools to, like, race a Cranial Plating at this point between my Vapor Snags and my Snapcaster Mages and my Burst Lightning. Do you know what else is also great about this deck? This blocks Etch Champion, chat. In case anybody missed that one. This blocks Etch Champion. Which is generally how Affinity beats these fair decks. So the fact that we have a way to not die to Etch Champion is so huge. This was a good example. I had a few people asking me why I'm playing copies of Burst Lightning before I'm playing the full 4 copies of Wizard Lightning. This game was a good example of Burst Lightning being better than Wizard Lightning, because a lot of the times you honestly just want to be able to kill something for 1 mana, and Shock and Deal 3 are often very similar in that respect. Nah, I'm a big fan of Unix-based operating systems. Big fan of Unix-based operating systems. I snag this, I bolt this, and then they die on my attack. Well, congrats and condolences, Ananomic. Going off this game, this is not a wizard when it flips over. So I definitely burst lightning while this was flipped on the table. That's something exceedingly relevant that you need to be aware of if you're playing this deck. This is not a wizard on the backside. Things that are relevant and will get you. Rejection seems good here. Seems like a good board. Delver get up his wizard to become a flying bug, right? I don't think this is an Alpine Moon matchup. I think I like this sideboarding. How do we feel about this? I think the Dismember is fine because it's an instant. This deck's very good against spell-based combo decks. It's bad against creature-based combo decks, but I don't think creature-based combo decks are very good in Modern right now. You're not excited to see Voice of Resurgence and Kitchen Finks, but that's fine because most of the format devours those decks. This deck actually has a pretty reasonable Valakut matchup because it plays 4 Remands and has a decent clock. Once you mix in Alpine Moon on top of that and the Negates and the Disdainful Strokes, I think we're pretty reasonable against Valakut. This hand seems fine. It's not super exciting, but I think I'd describe it as fine. The Druid deck from earlier felt okay. It was more all-in. It didn't really have... The Druid deck we played earlier doesn't have a Voice of Resurgence Kitchen Finks backup plan, and that's one of the reasons why I felt it was good. It was good because it was an all-in linear combo deck. Wah! The free content I pay more money for isn't making the content that I want. If only there were dozens of other people I could go watch that might be making other content. People are the worst. It's okay if you don't want to watch Modern, but like, did you really feel the need to come in here and announce that? Like, what does that do? How is that useful? I think tiers by and large are arbitrarily defined, and like me talking about this deck being tier 1 or tier 2 is like a mostly a waste of my time. That's a pretty phenomenal draw. I haven't played Standard in a very long time. I don't intend to try and play Standard again until we get a rotation in the fall. There are tons of people that want to see Modern content, and I get paid wonderful amounts of money to play Modern content, and I enjoy playing Modern by and large, which is the most important part. They hung up on you. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and spend a bolt here at this point, just to use my mana, since I have another one. Is this gonna be a day where our Delvers run hot? It is not. I've never played Werewolves on stream before. I'd assume they're probably a little bit too slow and clunky on average. Oh no, not Etch Champion. How will my fair deck ever best this magic card? It has protection from all of the colors. Oh no, chat. How can we best Etch Champion? I think I'm happy with all the cards in my hand. I'm gonna take a peek at what they have going on. Nimble Obstructionist, like, isn't amazing, but it helps me kill them faster. That's a Whip Flare, huh? Am I supposed to let them keep all of these because they don't have colored mana? I think I'm supposed to let them keep all of these. I think I'm just supposed to hope they don't hit colored mana. Oh, Delver. Can't I just try and kill them before that happens? Am I psychotic if I play this Delver? I'm gonna do it anyways. SoulCal MTG, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime. Welcome. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. Thanks for supporting mine this month. I deserve that. I deserve that. I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. You actually can't Nimble Obstructionist your Delver triggers. Nimble Obstructionist explicitly says you can only counter opponent or activate and triggered abilities you don't control. I should have just taken their thing. That was silly on my part. I mean, allure is the word may exists in Magic. They could very literally just make it say you may counter target activated or triggered ability. Like pretending like that was a necessity is kind of silly. No, I wanted the Mutavault so I could block Etch Champion. This card's gearing up to look pretty okay. Abrade's such a good addition to this deck too. I think most of these tempo decks don't have efficient enough closing power to play a card like Disrupting Shoal on average. You just like, you struggle to make up for the card disadvantage it makes. No, 1400's a bit high for me. I think Newmont signed off early today, if I recall. This is definitely higher than my normal viewer count. I assume there are people that like often watch Newmont that were looking for something else. Cranial plating, yep, that's a perfect Abrade target here. So I'm going to play this. This lets us Spellstutter Sprite a 2-drop this turn. It also lets us play Staticaster, both of which are great. Staticaster doesn't turn off the Mox. They still have 3 artifacts. Darksteel Citadel's an artifact. Steel Overseer, that one resolves. You think this is a concession, Staticaster? What are the odds this is a concession, Staticaster? I love this deck. This deck plays the type of Magic I enjoy playing. This card is so good. This card is more absurd than Grim Lavamancer when it's good, which is why I'm playing more copies of it. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Gosh, that's good. I love this card. Do I Staticaster this and bolt this so they no longer have Metalcraft? I think I do. They're looking to, like, master Etch Champion or something. Now I must own all of them. Always, also remember, too, if you're going to be playing this deck, is that Mutavault can turn Wizard Lightning into Lightning Strike in a pinch. You can activate this and it'll be a wizard. Alright, well, we're 2-0. Slow and steady, folks. Slow and steady. For people that are watching at home and thinking this deck is awesome, 1, it is awesome, but 2, we've 100% played 2 good matchups in a row. Living End and Affinity are both very good matchups for the cards that this deck is playing. What's my average win rate on stream? I have no idea, actually. I don't know offhand. I called that the concession would be Wizards Lightning, not Staticaster. Almost missed it. Someone was asking me if Liliana was working on Moto. I wanted to respond yes. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Well, I'm getting off. Turn 1 Delver, chat. We want a die roll. Oh, gosh. Golly gee. We've got a Remand. We've got a Spellstutter Sprite. Let's get him. Get him. Urgh. You ready for this? Just curious, Alpine Moon. Nope, Alpine Moon shuts off all the Tron pieces. So Tron pieces, if you look at the Oracle text for them, they look at the subtype of the Tron lands, and Alpine Moon strips away subtypes. What would you say are the worst matchups for this deck? Decks with Voice of Resurgence and Kitchen Finks in them. Creature combo decks. The other type of deck I love to play. No! How do we ever beat a Dark Blast, chat? Woo! No, I lied. Worst matchup is turn 1 Dark Blast. Let's, we're gonna play one more deck after this one. Don't worry, we're gonna play the next match. We're just gonna pretend that one didn't happen. We're gonna pretend that match didn't happen. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Let's go. Good night, my sweet prince. Listen, a lot of the people that don't like Modern, they spend too much time playing matches where they're never going to win. And playing matches where you're almost certainly never going to win is miserable. It's not fun. I don't enjoy it. Maybe some of you enjoy it, but that is what I like to refer to as a quality of life concession, because I would probably take me 20 minutes to lose that match, but we're almost certainly going to lose. We're almost certainly going to lose. But instead of spending 20 minutes and being sad while I lose, I get to find another match of Magic and roll right on. And it's sweet. It's wonderful. And if you want to eke out every percentage point or prefer to watch a streamer who does, this is not the place for you. If you're interested in playing sweet games of Magic and having fun, this is certainly the place for you. Yeah, we're never beating Dredge. Dredge is almost certainly unwinnable for us. We would need probably 3 surgicals or more in the board to have a chance. I just don't think that's worth it. It's fun to watch people in these matches slowly die on the inside. I was so excited about our turn 1 Delver 2 chat. It's amazing how quickly things can go downhill. I was so excited about our turn 1 Delver. And then it's just the roller coaster of emotions. Just tuned in time to see the tail end of a Jeff rant. Red Mulligan, thanks for the 4-month free subscription. I appreciate the continued support. A third of a year. Welcome back. I agree that 1 surgical isn't enough, but when you're playing 4 Snapcaster Mages, usually 2 surgicals is enough to beat Dredge. How do we learn how to get those percentage points if you want to take your deck to a real event? Well, if your goal is to play Magic competitively, you can and should play those matches and be miserable. It's getting scary. I watched Jeff more than... Thanks, I guess. Obviously, the answer is if you want to learn your way around those matchups, you need to play them. I don't play Magic competitively anymore. I play Magic just to have fun, so I'm just here to have a good time. I'm here to have a good time and make fun content and play sweet games. I'm still at the top spot. Hoaglandia, get those numbers up. Thank you for the continued support, Brecken. I need to start streaming on RemTube to up the percentage points. So I'm going to go ahead and opt here to see if I can hit a Sprite or something. That's pretty good, actually. I'm going to keep that. This can resolve. We will burst lightning this. Jeff confirmed here for a good time, but not a long time. That can go back from where it came. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Do me dirty, daddy. Do me dirty. What did you say, opponent? Did you stutter? I didn't catch that, opponent. Did you spell stutter? Sorry, I'll stop. I apologize. I would like to apologize for what I've done. They paid 2 mana, but Spellstutter will counter it anyways. Getcha. Man, against decks full of creatures that are X1, Spellstutter Sprite is so unfair. Just I countered your Bushwhacker, and I get to trade with your Foundry Street Denizen. This is unreasonable. This is unreasonable. It's so unfair. There's so much value, chat. Oh, baby. Oh. Well, you put this on green-black elves, 10 out of 10. Thank you, Anonomic. I appreciate it. As always, thank you for the bitlies. That's fine, right? How do I feel about Snap Remand here? I kind of love it. I kind of love Snap Remand, actually. I guess I could Burst Lightning this and Snap Opt, but I definitely want to get a Snapcaster Mage into play. Snap Opt Burst Lightning might be better. Snap Opt plus Burst Lightning might be better. I'm probably going to play this deck in Indy. This deck is just too much fun. I just love the magic that it plays. It's quite great. Beat you down with my Mutavaults now. Within 10 minutes, I bought, sold, and bought all of these cards again. Reprint to Vault. You've been here for so long. Thank you for the 11 months. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Thanks for the continued support. One more month from your soul. I think this deck improved immensely with the removal of cryptic commands. I think you're right. I think the cryptic commands were a little medium. This is pretty punishing for the decisions that I made. This card's a lot of value against us. So, feel a little bit bad having let that resolve. Nah, the core deck just has too much air in it, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up both Mutavaults here and crack in with those. I don't really want to trade my Snapcaster Mages 1-for-1, but if they want to trade, like, both of these for a Mutavault, I think I'm fine. They have more than enough mana that they're probably going to be able to pay the Echo cost next turn. Can I not give you Disney dollars anymore? Your Prime Bucks are still valid here, BDP. They just chumped. That's interesting. Okay. How's Alpine Moon? I've only played one league with Alpine Moon. It felt okay. Like, not impressive, but fine. Man, who's ready for these two Staticasters in our sideboard, chat? The Naru Core deck was just too clunky and awkward. I'm going to be as defensive as possible here. I'm going to go ahead and just trade these off and then Burst Lightning this other one. Oh, you can't do it on mobile, BDP. You have to do it on your desktop. Oh, I should have traded with this, right? Yeah, that's just, like, strictly correct. The reason why I didn't trade with Mog Fanatic is because I'm dumb and wasn't thinking. The reason why I made the bad play is because I wasn't thinking. Bacon sandwiches with that brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. And that can super cost us here, especially as we just draw 3-1. I think I'm going to cycle this Nimble. How do we feel about cycling the Nimble here? I think I like it. Because I messed up. I think I just need to find removal. Maybe I should just flash this in and blocked. Deal. I basically want to just keep my life total high enough that I don't die to Goblin Grenades. And this game's a good example of why I love the creature lands in this deck. Like, this deck's playing probably a couple too many lands for the average tempo deck, but the fact that 6 of our 22 lands get to fire up and attack for 2 points of damage a turn is, like, very, very powerful. Mutavault is very, very good. Converting 2 mana to 2 points of damage every single turn is absurd. I'm no blocks here because I died to double Goblin Grenade anyways. God, I'm about to get double Goblin Grenaded, aren't I? That's so frustrating. I messed that game up by blocking the wrong thing. If I would have blocked the right thing, we would have been fine. All right, have your Disney dollars, good sir. Thanks, BDP, for the 8 months. I appreciate it, bud. Oh, they wouldn't have had... I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. Because I wasn't thinking about it. Yeah, because they need a goblin to sacrifice. Sorry, chat, I've been on for 7 hours. My brain's not all here. Not only should I have traded... It wasn't about being greedy. It was about me not thinking about what was happening. I thought about it, and then I was like, I'm dead to double grenade anyways. But I actually wasn't, because they lose a goblin if I block. So blocking was correct. There's nothing that 100 goblins could never do. Yeah, I messed that game up twice. I traded with the wrong thing with the Snapcaster Mage for no reason, and then I should have blocked there because I was winning the race. I still could have potentially died to a goblin off the top, but no play on one. Cute. Cute. Mold a Staticaster? No, I think I keep the quad removal hand. I basically just don't want to fight over things on the ground by and large. What's the opponent doing? No idea. Let's keep Magic Drama out of the main chat here, please and thank you. I am still in Cornfield, USA. So I think we just fire up and start smashing here, right? Like, I've got Trip's removal spell. I just want to kill them while disrupting them. I wonder what they kept. Why do they have Skullkraken against me? Because my deck can't gain health, I'm going to be very aggressive or very defensive with my removal spells, just like keeping my health total high so we don't get burned out ideally. Although at a certain point, these burn spells just like turn into face is the place, right? I really like the idea of Bitter Blossom, but it's really just not good in Modern. Modern is not a format that's kind to cards like Bitter Blossom. Wow, okay. So they just kept a very controlling hand in their aggressive deck. I think Burn's in one of the worst positions it's been in a long time, and I think Greentron's a very good deck, arguably one of the better decks in the format. If Corrin could scream, do you think your property values would go down? Probably. And again, just like the power of the creature land showing off, like we've drawn 6 lands this game, which is a lot of lands for a deck like ours, but we've turned those lands into spells effectively by the cards we're making our opponent trade for them. What if we didn't do that? Can you elaborate on why you think Burn is poorly positioned? I think aggressive decks, I think Hollowed One and Humans are reasons they're aggressive decks that Burn has a hard time keeping up with. Humans, because Humans doesn't deal any damage to itself when it's playing Magic, and has a hard time keeping up against Hollowed One because Hollowed One does something very busted very quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and animate this, and I'm going to attack with both my creatures this time through, because if my opponent wants to trade with the Snapcaster Mage and they take 2 and go down to 4, we get to kick Burst Lightning for lethal next turn. We're at 15, so they're dead next turn. Humans, I have not heard experienced Burn players say that Humans is a good matchup. I've heard them say things like, if you have a bunch of Searing Bloods, Humans is an okay matchup. But Humans tend to put a lot of things into play very quickly. And they have things that get out of burn range. And they have things like Thalia and Kitesail Freebooter that are very annoying. Alright, I probably want this Roast on the draw more than a Mana Leak, but I don't really have anything else to cut, so I'm going to leave this last Mana Leak in. This should probably be an easy mulligan, right? Well, we have a few cards that are good here. I think the fact that we don't have lands and we don't have Staticaster is worth a mulligan, because Staticaster is just like such a high impact card in this matchup. Sounds like not amazing, but it's fine. Would I ban and unban in Modern? I don't know. Modern's probably fine how it is. I've ever played Humans on stream. Once upon a time? I don't think I want to trade here. Dragon's Claw. So this is really important. If this flips, not that it's going to flip, but if it flipped, it would no longer be a human. Or no longer be a wizard, sorry. So I need to Wizard Lightning before this trigger. Now I feel extra bad about my decision. Probably was still a reasonable decision, but you know. Put a stop on my upkeep here, because I can use this fetch land along with this Delver to kind of scry of sorts. So if I see a card on top that I don't want to draw, I can crack my fetch. Doesn't flip, and I don't want to draw it. I think I was shuffling any non-land there. Really just want to hit the Staticaster on time. It's unfortunate. Mulligan to 5. That's a good assessment there. I think the bannings for Legacy were reasonable, but I'm still not a huge fan of the format. I have a Bushwhacker. Okay. I'm going to bolt this. I'm going to, again, be conservative with my health total, and I'm going to go ahead and trade this Delver for this Bushwhacker. I think if we stabilize at, like, 11, we'll be in a good spot here. So let's, like, hit an untapped land here, please. Really unfortunate. I think if we hit untapped land there, we'd be a huge favorite. Yep. We even shuffled an on land to get this extra shot. Yeah, just have another Bushwhacker. Super unfortunate for us. We're just like dead to a Goblin Grenade now. Gave it the old college best. This game has far less variance than Hearthstone. I definitely punted game one. Definitely punted game one. It's very easy to focus on the fact that we got incredibly unlucky in this third game. Not only did we mulligan to 5, but we also missed land drops. But the important thing to think about when you're trying to improve as a Magic player is that your match is more than just the third game that you lost. I made decisions in other games in this match, specifically game one, where I gave myself a worse chance to win the game. I made 2 really important bad decisions in game one that likely caused me to lose the game, and I wouldn't have even been playing a game 3 in this game if I would have made good decisions in game one. So again, it's always very easy to focus on that last game where you actually got unlucky and forget about bad decisions you probably made in other games, because remember, your match of Magic is more than just the game 3 that you lost. I'm going to keep this on the draw because I'm greedy. Humans? Sweet. I'm interested in playing this matchup. This hand's pretty bad, though. So I'm going to play the Delver. It's a Reflector Mage. That's brutal. It's like worst case scenario. Whoop. Bolt the Bird only applies in a control deck. When you're playing a deck that can race, it's often correct to race. That's true too. Raynad was banned for doing unsavory things in Magic. Of course, it's also unfair to say Raynad was bad for cheating in Magic. Like, you can go on to get second in the World Championship after being banned for cheating. Oops, did I say that out loud? We're pretty dead here. Maybe we could be okay. The fact that this Reflector Mage got up to a 3-4 got away with us. Definitely the way this game played out, we would have been better off having bolted the Noble Hierarch on 1, but I can't know for sure that the game's going to play that way. Oh, they have a Resto. Yep, super dead. I don't think we're beating this card even if we do bolt this. Alright, I did think about this matchup when I built this sideboard, so we get to cut all this poopy counter magic, and we get to bring in 7 pieces of removal. So let's see how this plan goes. Seems fine. Like, not exciting, but fine. Oops, did I do that? I think we're just going to Burst Lightning this. That wasn't a timeout. That one's gone for good. It's really weird how people who are vehemently against making others feel included get really upset when I ban them from my chat. It's almost like they want to feel included, but they don't want other people that they don't like to feel included. It's such a weird double standard. It's such a strange double standard. God. I don't got any time for nonsense here. The only nonsense I've got time for is in this match of Modern, okay? The rest of it is just whatever. Yeah, that's actually probably sadly true, Langler. This is a snake. Sweet. So we'll snap Bolt here. What's my vintage deck of choice? I don't really play much vintage. It's by and large a silly format. Alright, they got 2 cards left. Drawing more lands is not stellar for us. I think I'm going to draw a step click here. Opponent's deck has a lot of air in it, so being able to take a good card out of their hand is valuable here. Dropping away another. I think I'm okay with that one. You can keep Thalia's Lieutenant with no other creatures. Yeah, honestly, I'm really looking forward to a new non-rotating format being introduced in Magic, mostly because I want something. I understand that Modern will never be slow and mid-rangey, but I want a non-rotating format that can be a little bit slower and a little bit more mid-rangey. I would enjoy that personally, to play a non-rotating format that was a little bit more mid-range focused. Origins would be my pick for the starting point. Yeah, no fetch lands and mid-rangey. No, a company, a store in Japan that had extra bulk to sell tried that. I love watching Jeff stream. I get to watch my favorite game played by someone who is successful at it while simultaneously having a reality check on issues that I assume others struggle with on a day-to-day basis. Frontier, yeah. Frontier didn't count because Frontier was never supported by Wizards of the Coast. It's like the same reason Tiny Leaders failed, right? Like, no official support means the format is dead to start. So we can Spellstutter Sprite 1, 2, and 3 mana spells here, so come at me. I didn't play Conclave because I want to be able to Spellstutter Sprite a 3 mana spell here, because this lets me activate Mutavault and then Sprite their 3 mana spell. That's a good question, though. I should have articulated that, because it seems like a very easy play Conclave, right? But I want to be able to activate Mutavault so I can Sprite this Reflector Mage. Pretty happy with my board plan. Let's run it back. We're going to play. This is the last match of this Delver Fairies League. Again, if you want to see more of this deck, Blue-Red Delver Fairies, check my YouTube channel. We played 2 other leagues in recent memory on there with it. But don't go anywhere just yet. I'm going to be playing 1 more league today for sure. We've got a Black-White Goryo's Vengeance Smallpox deck that we're going to wrap the day up with. So, this is... I think I'm supposed to play Delver on 1, but I'm going to miss my land drop and they're going to play a Thalia and I'm going to feel really bad about it. But I think I'm supposed to play Delver on 1. How do you feel about Alpine Moon versus Damping Sphere? I think it depends on which matches you think are bad for your deck. For instance, I think this deck is pretty good against decks like Storm and Crockclaw Ironworks. So I'd much rather play something like Alpine Moon because I think I struggle against big mana more than those other things. I'm happy the Delver didn't flip to a land. I am happy to have drawn a land and the Delver didn't flip. Yeah, the creature lands by and large go a long way to making Spellstutter Sprite playable. I did at least hit the land though, so like hitting the land there is very good. I'm gonna get Reflector Maged here and just like hate all of my decisions. Sin Collector, joke's on you. Gosh. If they don't have a Thalia's Lieutenant here, land into whatever it's called could really pull us back into the game. This is probably a Thalia's Lieutenant and we're dead. Oh, just Kite Sail. Deal. Deal. And again, in response to this Delver trigger... Nope, the Goryo Pox deck is going to be the last thing we close up with today. So in response to the Delver trigger, I'm going to Wizard Lightning this, because once my Delver boy flips here, he will no longer be a wizard. Nope. Although I just got punished for doing that, right? Because I can't play that out now. I guess I got kind of punished for my line. If we don't flip again, I want to not flip to a Staticaster. Unless this is a Lieutenant. This is probably a Lieutenant. Oh, that's brutal. That's super brutal. And by super brutal, I mean Lieutenant is still great here. Or Staticaster is still great here. We're taking 3 from this attack down to 11. I actually kind of have this board contained, right? Staticaster would just like slam dunk them. Delver of Squeakrits. What do I think about doing here? I really need to run to the restroom really quick. Think about this turn. There's a lot of sequencing decisions. I'll be right back. What do we think of leading on Opt to dig for either Staticaster or another red source? I kind of like leading on Opt to dig for red source. Yeah. Well, I mean... So, Undivided Mind, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. I just let this resolve. I think we're a little bit too far behind now. This Dismember might be bad in the sideboard. It's possible it's just not good enough. So I'm going to Dismember this. And then I'm going to Bolt this. And I'm going to go down to 5 here. And next turn I can snag this plus tag this. I guess I can also just like play Delver and block. I kind of like that. I don't charge anything to sign cards if you mail them to me. You just need to make sure you either donate enough for me to have money to mail it back, or you need to put a self-addressed stamped envelope in there with the card so it doesn't cost me money for return shipping. I'm always happy to sign stuff for free at events or through the mail. So if they attack with just this, so I'm gonna go ahead and block here, and then I'm gonna Burst Lightning this. They took this up to 4, so am I getting restoed? Long live Hoaglandia, Snack Size Biscuit. Thank you for the 13-month free subscription. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And I already burned my Dismember. I think this is going to do it. Restoration Angel is just such a huge beating for our deck. It's just bigger than all of our stuff. Yeah, we stumbled and bumbled a little bit too much these games. I think Staticaster could have pulled us out at certain points, but he's just a little bit too far behind. So we lost an unwinnable match against Dredge. That's not surprising to me. We lost a match where I punted against Goblins, and then we lost a match to Humans where there was probably a mix of misplays and bad beats. The first game we stumbled and died. Probably kept a medium hand in the first game. Would Rending Volley be better than Dismember? I mean, in specific matchups, it would be better than Dismember. The Dismember slot is like for killing things like Tarmogoyf or dealing with larger threats like Hollowed One and Gurmag Angler and stuff like that. Pinky, thank you for the bits. I think I did. About the hateful ways, if you know here, here's my dollars. But well, thank you for that, Pinky. I do appreciate it. Yeah, it's the same reason I don't have Flame Slash in my sideboard. It's possible that I could afford to play 2 Harvest Pyre. I think this card's actually pretty good. I don't know, I'll probably play 1 more League with this deck, but I really like the magic that this deck plays, but I should probably just play Jeskai Ascendancy combo in Indy. I don't know if I'd change anything. The Nimble Obstructionists were pretty good. They accomplished basically exactly what I wanted them to accomplish. They allowed us to provide extra pressure in matches where we need it. This deck's always felt a little bit threat light, so like having another flash threat that's evasive and enables our wizard sub-theme is nice. Alright, we've got 1 more league before I go for day. I'm going to run a little bit long. I've been given the thumbs up by the boss to run long. So I'm going to wrap up with some Goryo's Vengeance here. A fair and balanced Goryo's Vengeance deck.